As most of you know, I started my channel just this year in January in 2025. And I at first started just with tutorial content. I had a lot of anxiety around putting my face in a video and putting that on a public YouTube channel and all of that stuff. I think a lot of people go through that when they're first starting this. But one thing I realized is that all of the videos I've done so far have been a little bit more like scripted and pre-planned, and I wanted to experiment a little bit with the vlog style. I posted a lot of videos about my PhD, but also a few videos about what it's like to create content and what it's like to be a small YouTuber. And so I know some of you are here more for the PhD stuff and some of you are here more for the content side of things, but I figured it would be nice to do a little bit more of an informal vlog style video where I could just talk to you guys about what's going on right now and maybe be a little bit more casual and try to relax a little bit, which isn't easy for me on camera or off camera, actually, now that you mention it. But anyways, let's talk PhD stuff. So things are hard right now. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I have this like dual thing going on where on the one hand, this is the happiest I've ever been in my career. I was pretty lost as a software engineer. I didn't really see where I was going. I didn't really have a clear path that I was excited about in the roles that I was in previously. And I gave this PhD thing a try because I took a robotics class in graduate school and I met a couple advisors who I thought, okay, these faculty advisors are people I can work with. I understand how they set expectations. I like how they engage with students. I like the advice that they're giving. And so I decided to apply for the PhD program, got accepted, started last year. And it's been awesome in terms of what I'm doing and how I feel about what I'm doing. And up until, I would say, February, I was feeling really good about the way things were going, and I was seeing a lot of opportunities that were eventually going to be open to me because of this PhD program. I was seeing the future for myself and loving that. But things are so uncertain right now in terms of funding. Basically, as of February, funding has been disappearing, grants are disappearing, entire programs are going away, and some of the organizations that would have sponsored research and stuff like that are also going away. It's a very uncertain time, and now there's all this market instability as well, which is causing issues for startups. And robotics is full of startups. I mean, they come and go. There's almost every year a list of startups that somebody catalogs in a blog post and just says like, rest in peace to these robotic startups from, 2023, 2024. It's an annual event, but this has felt more uncertain than some of those times, I think, just because of the economic uncertainty. And that makes the future of the field feel a little bit more unstable and a little bit more uncertain. And that's definitely translating to PhD students in general, not just myself, but I think most people in the lab have this feeling like, oof, we're nervous. We're nervous about our own funding. We're nervous about where the research grants are going to come from. We're nervous about what kind of opportunities are going to be there for us when we graduate. So it's been a difficult time, I think, for a lot of people. And I fall into that category as well of like having a lot of nerves surrounding this, being concerned about my future job prospects. So anyways, there's like all this great stuff going on for me career-wise, right? And then there's like the world and what's happening in the world. And it just is very overwhelming at times, I think. If you are paying attention to the news and stuff, it can get really overwhelming and feel a little scary when you think about what's your future going to look like. So that's weighing on a lot of people. And the funding uncertainty especially. So last week I got some incredible news, which I spent hours and hours and hours last year in October preparing my application for the NDSEG fellowship. It's a pretty big deal. It comes with funding. It comes with networking opportunities. It's a very, very highly regarded fellowship. So I put so much time and effort into that application. And just last week, I was notified that I had been selected for this fellowship. And so I should be thrilled and excited and like throwing a massive party. And instead, in the back of my mind, I'm just waiting to see the news that they've decided to cut the fellowship program. So I haven't even really been able to celebrate it. I've been in like an in-between state where I'm so proud of that accomplishment, and I try to remind myself, like, it doesn't matter if the money comes through, you did this thing, you got this thing, you know, no one can take that award away from you. But a huge part of the fellowship is the funding and the guarantee that it comes with, that you're going to be funded for 3 years to do your research, to pursue your research. So that has been weighing on me. It's frustrating to have this level of uncertainty surrounding your funding. And I know that I should just be grateful for it, and I am grateful for it. But it's just, I'm not at a point where I want to like be celebrating it every day and relying on it for the future, because I don't know if it's going to be there in the future. And my brain sort of prepares for the worst case scenario. Whether or not that's good is anyone's guess. So there's that part of things. You know, it would be such a shame to get to this point in my career where I finally feel like I'm in the right field. It's the right time. I'm motivated. I'm excited. I'm making progress. I'm enthusiastic about it. It would be such a shame for that funding opportunity to go away and for me to just go back to industry almost where I was. I mean, obviously I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of different things since I left industry and started my PhD program, but it hasn't been that long. So I still can't really compete for the jobs that I want without continuing in my PhD work. And it would just be so disappointing to have made it to this place where I'm finally feeling good about my career, really excited about my career, and then to have that funding disappear and to feel like the rug is getting pulled out from under my feet. So I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm both at the same time. It's just a little bit stressful to have that type of uncertainty. And I know a lot of people are going through it too. I can't imagine what it's like to be an international student right now, because you don't just have funding uncertainty, you have visa uncertainty. I mean, the visa situation is confusing and complicated, and I think really scary if you are an international student, because there's been some randomness to people's visas getting revoked. I think some people are saying, oh, it's only if you've gone to a protest against the government or something like that. But there have been cases where that isn't true. So it's just very nerve-wracking for everybody, and no one knows what the plan is. I'm not even sure universities were prepared to have this kind of issue. So I know that there are people who have it worse, for sure. I don't want this to turn into like a pity party for me. It isn't. I just don't get a chance very often to be super direct and real about what's happening on the channel. So I thought this would be a really good time to do that in a little bit more informal way, less scripted way. Okay, in other news, I have two really good friends who I met before I started my PhD program, and it turns out that both of them were also in PhD programs for different things. And we were kind of supporting each other through this process and, memeing about it together as good friends do. And they have both decided to finish their master's and then leave their PhD programs. So I'm like the last man standing. I'm going to miss their camaraderie and the ability to talk to them about like what we're all going through. Obviously, we're still going to be friends. They'll still be in the area, but it was like a shared experience for us. And now they're going to kind of be moving on. So I'm a little bit down about that for sure. But also like a tiny bit jealous. They're going to make, you know, real salaries again. PhD programs do not always work out the way that you hope they will. I think that's a big lesson here, is that you can be the perfect student, super motivated, love your field, super enthusiastic about it, all of the things. You can be all of the things. But if you aren't getting the support that you need from your advisor to progress in your PhD program, it becomes a pretty terrible experience. And I think a lot of people focus too much on prestige of the program, or, you know, buzzwords of the program, or how to make themselves like really marketable for the industry after their PhD program. And they forget to thoroughly vet the advisor and the department support that they can expect to get in their PhD program. And this wasn't necessarily true for my friends. It's just something I've noticed. Like, they did try to do their due diligence and things just changed. I think that's also a reality, is like sometimes the advisor that you really thought you were going to have a great relationship with turns out to not be a very good mentor for you. Maybe not a good mentor fit, or maybe not a good mentor for anybody. Sometimes accidents happen. Like, I know someone whose PhD advisor passed away in the middle of their program, and she had to find a new advisor, which is how she ended up in our group. So things don't always work out the way that you hope. That's another hard part of this PhD journey that sometimes people don't think about it. I'm sad that we won't be going through the same experience together anymore, but obviously they're still friends of mine. We'll all be hanging out. It'll be okay. But that plus the other stuff, it had me kind of down. I don't want to leave this on a total downer, because I am trying to push through and find the positive, stay hopeful. I think it's an important skill. It's like if you sit around in self-pity all the time, you're just going to get stuck in negative cycles, and you're going to, you know, just waste a lot of energy being upset about things that are outside of your control. There are a lot of positive things going on, and I don't want to overshadow them. I mean, first of all, I really should celebrate the NDSEG fellowship thing. I mean, who cares what happens with the funding? Okay, I care a lot. But still, it's an accomplishment, and historically have not been great about celebrating these types of wins, because my mind immediately goes to like, okay, next achievement. I need to get my plan in place. I need to, you know, get focused and all that stuff. I need to step back and celebrate the win. I am going to do that. I think maybe our favorite Thai restaurant. We'll go out for Thai. But there's that. I've also been training for a trail half marathon. It'll be my first trail half marathon. I've run the distance before, but I've never actually run it during a race. And so I'm training quite a bit for that and feeling really good. I've also been working on my press handstand at gymnastics, which is also making progress. And that is super exciting. I've never been able to do that in my life. So I have a lot of positive things there, and I'm super lucky to have friends in my PhD program and friends outside of my PhD program. There's so much community support there, even if it's just, you know, getting together for a happy hour or, you know, going skiing with friends or something. I think we truly are really lucky to have found a lot of friends in the area we live in who are willing to go do stuff and willing to listen and, you know, be thoughtful, considerate friends. So that's an amazing part of this. And I have a lot of support from my family. I'm making progress in my PhD program. That's also a really big one. So, you know, with everything that's going on, I am trying to not get too lost in the negativity, keep focusing on the things I can control, and keep celebrating the small wins. And I think you should do that too. Oh, what a feelings dump. If this vlog goes well, I will do this again. If it doesn't go well, this is the last one you'll ever see. I'm just kidding. All right, well, got a lot of stuff to do, so I better get to it.